Hey, business building warrior, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. We've got a great episode for you today, an exciting new website we just launched, provenbrandedbundles.com. There'll be a link to that in the show notes at silentjimdotcom, along with everything else we talk about today. I'm going to bring on the coaching director for our team, who's been with us for over 20 years. We've coached coming up on 10,000 people, believe it or not, over 20 years in e-commerce, and the last 12 years, emphasis on Amazon. Of course, I'm talking about Nathan Bailey, as along with the premier branded bundle expert coach on our team, Leanna Krakow. Sorry, I said that wrong. And she's going to do a great job for us today as well, describing this new proven branded bundle philosophy and strategy that's serving our students so well around here. You'll hear Nathan describe on today's episode one of our students who's launched 40 successful branded bundles on Amazon. These are listings that belong only to him. No one else can sell on these listings. It includes items that just about anyone else could get their hands on and resell, but it also includes items that he's brought in that no one else can sell. So now he's got a listing that no one else can duplicate and sell against. That's pretty cool, right? So the base strategy we teach around here is replens. When it comes to being an Amazon seller, you've got to sell replens as your starting point. Don't set up new listings. Don't get into private label. You've got to sell against existing listings. That's what we teach initially. We have people with multiple seven-figure businesses doing just that model, 6 figures a month, just that model. But as you start to graduate into the other models, building branded bundles, for example, that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to hear some examples of bundles that have been put together successfully by our students. You're going to hear how you can do it yourself, as well as a very inexpensive class that launches September 19th, 2023. Now, if you're listening to this after that date, we've captured the content. We'll make the recordings available at some point. But this initial class, the first time we've ever taught these concepts, is going to be very inexpensive. We're going to reward people who jump in this first round at a ridiculous price break. And the price goes even lower if you're a proven Amazon course or coaching student, by the way. If you weren't aware of that, go over to provenbrandedbundles.com. You'll see the details near the buy button on the discounts. So you can get in there at a great low price if you're one of our VIP members of our listening community. So branded bundles, that's the topic today. And again, why branded bundles versus replens? What's the difference? Remember, a replen is an item, it's any listing on Amazon that anyone else can sell against easily. So you may have a great listing that you're selling against, and suddenly a handful of other sellers come along and the price starts to drop because there's so many other sellers on that listing. Actually, today, one of the great things that Leanna shares with us is, hey, that's a clue. That could be a great bundle listing for a branded bundle because it's getting a lot of activity. That's the reason so many sellers are there, because there's a lot of buyers there. Are there any bundles associated with this ASIN? If not, hey, let's create a branded bundle around this ASIN. That's the kind of strategy talk we're going to have today. That's the kind of topics we're going to dive in deep to. We've been doing this for a few years. Again, many students succeeding. Our coaches have helped other students achieve at a high level on this topic, but we're going to dive into it today in a brand new way as Amazon continues to grow and expand and change, and the future looks very bright. This is one of the great new strategies you can stack on top of those base skills that you may already have. Speaking of bright future for Amazon sellers, Q4 is coming up. Hey, we're going to have a cool conference we'll be talking more about very soon, completely free for our coaching students and for our proven Amazon course students. Everyone else is going to pay a few dollars. Early October, be looking for it. But one of the things we're going to talk about is the fact that the advantages continue to stack up for those of us who are paying attention to the Amazon marketplace. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't know if you've heard in the news, people are talking about masking up again and COVID, and I'm not looking to dive into all the politics of that and where you stand. I know I don't plan on wearing a mask again, that's for sure, ever. But if people stay home more and shop online more, which is looking like they will, wow, what a good time to learn how to sell on Amazon, starting with the replens model, serving those underserved listings, and then bumping into some of these more advanced strategies, it's a good time to be where we are. We're hearing more success stories now than at any time ever. Right now is a great time to get started. We'd love to see you jump into our free Facebook group. There's 73,000 of us hanging out there all day, every day. There's a link at silentjim.com. Come see over 1,900 tagged success story posts in that group. Hundreds of students of our Proven Amazon course have been interviewed on this show. Today isn't one of those interviews, though. Today's a discussion with Leanna and Nathan, two great friends, great leaders in our community, and they're going to talk about branded bundles. Let's jump into the content. You're going to enjoy this. So, Leanna and Nathan, welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Good to see you, my friends.
Hello. It's good to see you.
Awesome.
All sunny side from a trip. It's awesome.
Yeah, I just got back from a vacation, raring to go here, and super excited to be recording podcast episodes again. I took a full 10 days off, and it's been a long time since I took 10 days off from recording an episode. So I'm really looking forward to spending some time with you guys today. And as I mentioned in the introduction, you guys are two great leaders from the community, and I've kind of told people a little bit already about who you are. So let's just jump right into what you guys have for us today. Leanna, why don't we start with you, and what's the topic?
Topic is branded bundles, how to sidestep your competition and do some branded bundles. That means your own brand. It's not selling a brand, even though we're third-party sellers. So, and to see the opportunities that can await and make a difference in your business, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And you guys tag teamed, had a great, very popular presentation at the last conference here just a couple months ago, where we had 5 breakout rooms. The biggest room was our main conference room, and that was for like the most popular topics. And you guys had one of the best attended breakout sessions in the main conference room with 4 or 5 other things going on. Just a huge response to the topic we're talking about today, branded bundles, the opportunity to create unique listings that belong only to you. And that's the new course that we've got coming out as well. I mentioned in the introduction, but we're talking about provenbrandedbundles.com. The website has launched, ridiculously low price. What can people expect as they go through this content with you guys? What do we have in store?
Jim, I'll take this one because we've worked really hard. I wanted to be very thorough with what we put together here because I believe this strategy is the way forward. For someone who's got a little bit of experience with replens, and they've experienced things like a bunch of people hopping on that listing after one's been really great for months, and then all of a sudden a bunch of people hop on and the price tanks happen, right? This is like what Leanna says, you could sidestep your competition and you can take control of a listing and have a unique relevant item that you bundle with it. And to do it right, see, doing it is not enough. You have to do it right. And me and Leanna, we've been teaching this strategy and in the throes of it for 3-4 years now of really getting after it. And, I've had a lot of, because, working in the coaching side of things with you and talking to all the different people I talk to and share this stuff with already that I've been sharing it with for years, proving it out, right? I feel like Leanna really is one of those key pioneers of this strategy to where her and I just don't feel like there's anybody else out there in the space of sharing the branded bundle strategy or knowing about it that knows more than her and I about what you're gonna have to do and how to really make it successful. We've really created some content here that is for the people that take advantage of it. They're going to see real growth and real long-term sustainability in their business, as opposed to wondering, if they're going to wake up today and then their best-selling ASIN is going to be price tanked or, so.
Yeah, no doubt. The reality of a replens business certainly is at any given time. I mean, we've always taught it this way. At any given time, your best ASINs are at risk. You got to be constantly finding new ones. That's the game. But it's nice to settle into a pattern where you're selling the same items over and over again. And that's the benefit of branded bundles without having to go reinvent completely brand new, better mousetraps is what I always say. That's great. If you've got an inventor's mentality and you think you're going to build the world's next best mousetrap, cool. But that's a much harder path than creating these branded bundles, taking items that already exist or are easily created So fill us in some more, Leanna. You've been doing quite a bit of this. I'd love to hear some success stories as well from people. Nathan, you mentioned we've taught several people this, and I know of firsthand. I've talked to several students of ours who are doing 6 figures a month with branded bundles. I'm not saying everybody's going to be doing that, but there's a lot of people who have really locked into this strategy. So go wherever you'd like with that, Leanna.
Well, I think the course for me is coming from giving it all. So many things out there of this course or that course, and this course isn't, they're leaving back how to really make a good listing, that really the important part. And I think they say you need this and they never show you how to do it. So I think we're just going to, from first step to the end, hopefully to give it all. I don't hold anything back. So I just find it more rewarding for me to share every possible thing that could do to where they can be armed, because it can only grow their business in all aspects, not just branded bundles, in my opinion, is my hope. That's my hope.
Learn to set up
Maybe I'll
listings.
promise and overpromise, and I don't know. We'll see.
No, well, you've been doing this a long time, doing it the right way. You've got a lot of people that have learned from you. You've been a great coach on our team for a long time as well, and a member of the community. You were a coaching student initially, but you've grown into a leadership role where I'm fully confident the value of this. I mean, we could and should arguably be charging thousands of dollars for this, but the price is ridiculously low because we just want to get this content out there. It's really going to help a lot of folks in our community, especially the ones who understand the basics of replens. They've kind of already got that basic infrastructure, and they've started where every new seller should start, finding those easily sold products on those fast moving ASINs, right? The underserved listings, we call them. They understand that process. Now they're ready to start separating away from all the competition. And this is the next logical step. And you've been doing it the right way for a long period of time, is what I was wanting to emphasize. So I'm super excited. This content's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be live sessions that are recorded, right? Let's just talk about the format of the course for a moment. How many sessions was it? 12, 14? I can't remember exactly how many
8.
you guys had.
8. And then we're going to have some bonus ones as we kind of get to the tail end of things, where we're going to see, we're going to survey everyone and ask everyone, what else would you like to learn, or what else do you think is important, what you would like us to touch on? And there's quite a bit, and it can go deep and be technical, but it can also be for someone who's new to the business as well, right? We want to lay this out so that the people that are advanced, that are getting into this, that maybe already doing it, are getting a ton of value because they're learning things they didn't know and making sure that they're doing it 100% the correct way, so they have that peace of mind. But then those people that are brand new, we would never tell someone brand new, oh, hey, go get into private label, right? But there's something to be said about that. If you're brand new to the business, if you start building a brand today, if I started building a brand in 1995 when I learned about the internet and started doing things on the internet and build a website and that kind of stuff, or back when I started in 97 on eBay, I would be so much further down the road. But here's the thing you have to keep in mind. A business that's just doing replens or even wholesale, right, that's selling on Amazon, that's not a sellable business. Well, it's a very difficult business to sell, right?
Yeah, we've had some people sell them very successfully recently, actually, but it's much harder.
But when you
it
have
takes
a
a lot more
brand
explanation.
attached to it, when you have a brand attached to it, now that is a sellable business. And not only that, but it connects with the customer on a deeper level. Amazon is, how, Jim, we've always talked about that barrier that eBay or Amazon tries to put between you and the customer. Don't message the customer. Don't communicate with the customer. People that have a brand on Amazon have the ability to communicate directly with the customer without Amazon. Amazon's lowering that barrier, especially when it comes to reviews and stuff. But I think that it's not a matter of if you're going to have to adhere to the training that we're going to be providing on this eventually, all sellers. It's a matter of when. And the best time to start learning about it is now. The best time to start building a brand, no matter where you're at in the process, is now, because it's a lot of work and it will take time to build and grow. But if you get started on it now, down the road, you're going to be really glad you did.
Yeah, Amazon's showing a lot of love to brand builders on their platform right now, allowing you to contact and communicate with your customer, allowing you to insert a customer feedback card that captures the customer's email address. You can build a database, right? They've kind of lowered the bar a little bit on a lot of that stuff to emphasize and clarify the point that you're making, Nathan. The best asset you can have, we've been saying this for 22 years. the best asset you can have in e-commerce is a list of people that want to hear from you. Well, if you don't have that list, you're not building that list, that's hard to have that asset. I'm not saying that's the only asset. I'm saying that's the best asset you can have. And, that's the one I rely on the most in my business. The people who want to hear from me, the people who want to work with us, people who are anxious to hear about the next podcast episode, for example. You can start to do that with a brand on Amazon. You can't do that as a replens seller. You can build a beautiful business, but you don't actually own the customer database. And branded bundles allow you to start to wade into those waters. That's another aspect of this. I love that you emphasize. It's kind of like that slowly maturing process. That pyramid we've always talked about. You start with
Yep.
the easy stuff, put some money in the bank, prove it out, start to move into what are some of those next steps. Well, branded bundles is a great next step for anyone having even minimal success and results with replens. So,
But you're seeing that too, Jim, that new sellers wanting to make new listings, you have to have a brand now.
Mm-hmm.
They are focused on brand back in spring of 2020. So that new brand name policy made a huge difference for a lot of even beginner sellers that think, oh, I'm going to do a multi-pack, try to make a new listing, and they can't do that anymore.
Won't let you.
They won't let you. So that just is, the avenue is completely focused on brand. And to, like I said earlier too, you said you wanted a success, just one. I'm on for meeting those that are the new beginners or the ones that are just beginning or ones that are just learning and growing with 5,000 a month, right? The minimum to get going instead of being advanced at 100,000 a month. There's still an avenue for them to be able to sidestep. And I have a student that had some bundles and I helped her review them and rewrite them because she wasn't getting sales. And all of a sudden, within days of making the changes and improving it, all of a sudden it started to sell again. Those are the beauties of really knowing what needs to be done right, making those right decisions and knowing your audience and knowing certain things that I think this course can help have a total different point of view. I hope that they can look at their listings and go, how can I improve it if it's not moving and being successful?
Yeah,
So
I love it. And that's an area of expertise that you bring to the table, Leanna, probably one of the best, if not the best, on our entire team. I mean, our team is 100 people, and they all have beautiful businesses in different areas of expertise. I think one of them that you really dialed in as well, if not as better than any of us, is setting up a listing the right way so it has the best odds of doing well. Right there's a lot that goes into that, and we've got a lot of good people on our team that have some skills there. But you've really demonstrated through your own business and through the coaching students that you've helped. And yeah, I want to emphasize, if you're new to Amazon selling, do not set up new listings. Don't do it. There's a lot of people out there teaching new sellers how to do that. You're just going to dig yourself into a big old hole and not get the results you're hoping. Whether it's for your product or other products, do not set up new listings on Amazon. You're playing in a minefield. So this course is really going to help, not just with branded bundles, but with setting up good listings for anything because of that skill set that you have, Leanna. So yeah, I'm so excited to have you. You're the right person to have on this project with Nate, for sure.
Leanna and I together have built hundreds of listings, not just a handful, hundreds. So we know how to do it right through testing this. I've gotten many, many listings to page one, rank one, day one, just because you're building the listing properly according to Amazon's algorithm, that if they see that you're doing this, and you're hitting all their touch points. And that's really the key to doing a successful test on this, to test, because we want to test small. And if that one works, okay, let's go in a bit deeper, right? But to test it, knowing that you built it right and knowing that it really is a winner. Now, how do we protect it? And how do we, kind of keep it in our fold? I'll tell you, though, another thing too, Jim, that I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of on this, right, is that building a branded bundle, you can find unique, relevant products, but imagine this, right? Something where it's an underserved product where you find that demand, right? But it's something that someone is going to want over and over and over, and make it a subscription, right? This, in my opinion, is probably one of the best possible products you could ever sell on Amazon, is a bundle that you've created that your customers come back, subscribe and save, and buy it over and over and over again. We're going to be sharing information about that. We're going to be sharing information about, okay, now my listing's built. and it's converting and it's tested, but how do I really launch this thing, right? That's when the real work begins to start. How do we bring traffic in from outside of Amazon and actually do what works right now? What's working now for people? How do we do it right to where we don't get in trouble with Amazon? What are the things we can and can't do there? But to really launch products and a brand and have a standard operating procedure where, okay, now we're up on YouTube, now we're up on Pinterest, now we're up on Facebook, now we're up on Influencer Candy, and some different tools that I'm using to really launch these branded bundles to where, it's not as hard as you think it would be, but you use what I call the marketing wheel. And you and I have referred to this over the years, right? Amazon is just one spoke in your marketing wheel. So this branded bundles course, it shows you really how to just take advantage of, I think, the best strategy selling on Amazon right now, right? And having the most control. But that brand extends to Walmart, Etsy, eBay, social media, your website, and the ability to build an audience. And more importantly, tell your story, because the shortest distance between you and that customer that you want for life, you don't just want them once, you want them to come back over and over and over again. Shortest distance between you and that customer is a story. And the best way to tell it is with a brand.
Yeah, well, very well said. I want to get some specific examples, either people without giving away their name or their ASINs or creating any competition for them that makes them mad at us. But let's give some examples of, what goes into a bundle. What are you guys talking about? Give me some examples, like specifically what types of products, again, without creating competitors for anyone. What kind of results are people getting and what kind of brands are we seeing selling well? Either one of you.
Oof, that's loaded. Without giving stuff away. No, I would find a lot is, I think my dear Heavenly Father gave me a talent of creativity, and my brain just doesn't shut down. So I could see, so if somebody comes to me and says, this is what's selling, and say they have right now, what's going on right now is chocolate, right? You got Halloween coming. Mind you, seasonal. I'm all about evergreen, but I like my seasonal because it's creativity wise. So what you would see in Halloween, that's a good one, is you can niche down. And one that's very well is teach your gifts or Easter baskets, Easter parties at school, things that you could do that could make and create your own design that can then go with a Halloween candy and make it in unique. And you could either sell out the cards, you can sell out the candy and the cards, and you can then go even farther and do it as a neighborhood party. So many things that could go across. So say, same thing with Valentine's, you have your Valentine cards, right? And like a dinosaur, you're my favorite, right? Roar, you're my favorite. And you do a card with the dinosaur. And it's all created by you, but the dinosaurs you buy at Oriental Trading and put it into your own unique bundle. I had helped somebody kind of in that light in another niche, but they sold probably in a small window of that is almost $19,000 in like 7 days. That totally blew the water out on the niche concepts. So for me, seasonal is a fun one, creative wise, and how to utilize that creativity. You could have somebody, even though the niche is oversaturated, is with coffee. But if you find one that's a coffee flavoring spice or pumpkin spice coffee or anything like that is hitting right now, seasonal, or do coffee is to make a unique item. Coffee is, you think mugs, but mugs is oversaturated.
Yeah.
But you do coffee in the sense of tea bags, and you could do a sampler, create your own sampler bag, sampler packet, and design it with your own saying that makes it funny. Just things like that. So I always say like a hot sauce. Here's a popular one. Hot sauce is a big keyword. You'd have all the hot sauce, different flavors, different sizes, salsa, all of that. And you can have a hot pad that says, I like things hot too.
Hey, we'll get back to the program in just a second, but I've got to tell you about the great sponsor today, Sellerboard. Get over to silentjimdotcom/numbers. Spell it out. silentjimdotcom/numbers numbers. You're going to see a link to the tool that has become quickly the preferred tool in our community for helping you track your numbers, helping you know which of your ASINs are making a profit and which ones you should walk away from, at least temporarily, because you're not making any money. It can be fairly tricky to know and dial in all the Amazon fees and all the expenses. Well, that's what Sellerboard helps you do, among a whole bunch of other things. It's a great tool that's become a great sponsor of this community. We've helped send a lot of very happy users their way. They've got a great discount for you as well. Get over to silentjimdotcom/numbers and check out Sellerboard. You're going to love what these guys are up to. It just keeps getting better and better. And their starting prices are so ridiculously low. It becomes a bit of a no-brainer. Go check it out. That's Sellerboard at silentjim.com/numbers. Let's get back to the show.
I always say like a hot sauce. Here's a popular one. Hot sauce is a big keyword. You can have all the hot sauce, different flavors, different sizes, salsa, all of that. And you can have a hot pad that says, I like things hot too.
And those brands that we're talking about, the consumables that you just mentioned, Leanna, those aren't mine. I didn't go out and get those manufactured. These are maybe not the most popular top fraction of a percent brands that everybody's all over, but maybe some of those slightly more mid-tier brands that, and again, this is why I love the replens model. See if this resonates, guys. And I want to hear your comment too, Nate, but I love starting people with replens because you learn to see the underserved shelf space, the stuff that's just flying off the shelf. And there's only a couple listings. Like someone needs to do a bundle with this thing and put something creative, seasonal, whatever. And now we've got a product that's flying off the shelf already. We know there's people looking for it. That's why the price tanked. One of the things that I love that you said before we hit the record button today, Leanna, was if the price tanks, that's just a little alarm bell going off saying, ooh, bundle opportunity, right? Look at all the people all over that ASIN. It's so popular. There's people selling it like crazy. Okay, I'm going to create a bundle with a complementary product here and get a listing that belongs only to me with an existing brand. And there's
when the GTIN happened in September, I said, before your listings go down, go grab all that information, get your catalog list, all of that, get all your information. That is gold.
We had so many people do that. They were scrambling and panicking. Oh no, all these multi-packs are being pulled off of Amazon. The barcodes are wrong. My business is dead. No, just go turn all those into bundles. The people who did that are thriving.
That's a gold mine. Those lists are gold mine.
Mm-hmm. That was the pivot. And a lot of things can happen in this business, Jim, that can sway your mindset. Your mindset is so important. People don't know just how important that is. And there's an abundance mentality and a scarcity mentality.
Yeah.
Scarcity mentality is the clients that I've taught how to do this that have 10x to their business because of this strategy, right? The branded bundle strategy. No, don't go out and teach everybody. Don't do a course on this, Nate. You're going to kill it for everybody. No, because it's so vast. You talked about what categories, right? Okay, I'm just going to give one in abundance, one that I'm doing, right? Vinyl laminate flooring. A lot of people do it themselves because it's easy to do in your house, right? To lay vinyl laminate flooring. The bundle is all the tools that you need. There's a tool for doing stairs. There's a tool for cutting the laminate. There's a tool for the block, the toolkit, right? And that is the bundle. And I'm selling other people's branded products with one of my own, a little plastic block that hammers it in. I don't mind giving that away on this podcast because it's like, I'd feel bad for anybody trying to compete with me.
Yeah,
right?
You've built momentum. You've got, you've carved out your little niche and you're ranking well.
But at the same time, if someone came to me and said, Nate, show me what you're doing. If it wasn't something that I was partnered with somebody else, or it was, because when it comes to coaching, I have a non-disclosure, non-compete agreement with all the coaching students. I can't reveal anything about your niche. I can't reveal anything, but things that I'm doing myself personally, here, come on, get in. The water's great. Because in terms of abundance, there are so many categories. Tools and home improvement is a great one. Grocery and gourmet. Think about this, the candy bundle subscription box. Think about how many variations of candy that people are into. Like anybody like black licorice? Not a fan. But guess what? There's a massive audience out there that's into it, right? Like that's their thing. And they want a subscription box of it. Beauty and personal care. How many people do you know that use the same beauty and personal care product or supplement product month after month after month? The subscribe and save and adding value is the key to your business. People come to me all the time and say, Jim, or Nate, how do I make this listing better, right? Or how do I sell more? I think I've reached this plateau where I just can't sell. Add value, even if it's something that you can add to it that costs you nothing. And this is what the beauty of this in building these listings properly. What if you can add an information product that doesn't cost you anything other than the time that it took you to go on ChatGPT and have ChatGPT write it for you and add it to your product, put it on an insert card in your product with a QR code that leads them back into this information product? That's adding value to your product and separating yourself from the competition. And that's really what this course is all about, is how do you go out there and know there's an audience for this, but how do you carve your market share out of that as effectively and efficiently as you can without having to get a degree in rocket science on how to do this stuff. It's not that hard.
As a word of caution, if you use ChatGPT, be sure to put it in your own words, because that's actually copyrighted content, isn't it? I think, if I remember.
Well, it can be, yes.
Yeah. So be careful. You can't copy it verbatim.
Just because I'm the intellectual property guy, right?
Yeah.
ChatGPT cannot be copyrighted because it wasn't created by a human. The laws on the books right now say that if it's a human that created those works, it can be copyrighted and or trademarked. If it was created by ChatGPT, but I got to tell you, I can't tell you how many listings I built with ChatGPT in the last 30 days.
Probably creative wording. Yeah.
But I'll teach, in the course, I'll teach how to use that as a base. And because on ChatGPT, if there's a term that they picked up, gathering that information, because it was 2001 as far as it goes for ChatGPT, if they're using it, you could have a phrase in that could be a trademark phrase that could be in trouble if you copy and paste.
Yeah, you gotta go over and rewrite your own words.
Yeah, it's all about the research before. But adding to that too, and we have to make a disclaimer here, because I know enough that people come up and say, well, I heard so-and-so say this on a podcast that I could do a digital product. You can't do a digital product in a bundle.
Nope.
You could do it as a card, as an insert only if you're brand registered. So certain disclaimers, but there is a way you can bring market and care. Those are kind of things before you're brand registered, which I will teach. So we just have to make that disclaimer, because sometimes they'll put that card in and they'll get in trouble because they're not brand registered.
Right.
So there's certain things that are legally okay with brand registered that aren't. But there just is so much opportunity, and to see those opportunities, the subscription and save, the most popular is grocery.
Yeah. So, sports and outdoors. I mean, you give me a category: automotive, tools and home improvement. I will build you an incredible branded bundle that will put you on page 1, right next to the top sellers, based on just following the ideas of this course and the research, the strategy, how to reverse source branded bundles. This is a no holds barred course. That's why I say, there's going to be 8 sessions, but we're probably going to be doing some add-on bonus stuff to really benefit the people that get involved in this. And I mean,
I know, Nathan, don't you think the sessions, we're not saying stopping at 60 minutes either. A session.
Oh, there's no way. You guys have so much content to cover. This thing's going to go on for several weeks past the date, I think.
If you can get me to shut up.
Yeah, good luck.
An hour and a half.
It's gonna be phenomenal. I'm gonna be in there. A bunch of the coaches, our leadership team, they're already excited and jumping in there. We've got people signing up already. The website went live. We didn't even tell anybody, and people were jumping on and buying it yesterday, because you guys had mentioned it from stage at the conference. So people were keeping an eye on the webpage, and they've already jumped in. That website is provenbrandedbundles.com. I do have a couple more questions before we start to wrap this one up. I've got a hard stop here soon, guys. And we have to shut this down, and people can absolutely jump into our free Facebook group. There's a link at silentjim.com. Ask questions about this episode. Leanna and Nate will be in there answering those questions, and the rest of our team. But I know for a long time, proven Amazon course students, which this podcast features hundreds of success story interviews with those students, and they benefit from new content constantly. We've been directing them towards a course called Proven Brand Building. It's one of the modules inside, and it teaches you how to build a brand. And it's, 18 months or so old course at this point, maybe a little more than that. Still incredible content.
Oh, it's still as relevant as ever. Actually, Jim, we did the proven branding course was right around just January. We're not even close to 2 years on that.
Yeah. So, we're always putting new content in there.
I think we're about a year on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Right around that point. But regardless, that's still relevant content. But this stacks on top of that and
Yes.
includes a lot of that information as well.
Oh,
Doesn't necessarily replace it.
It's a precursor, actually.
Yeah, like almost a prerequisite possibly, but you guys are going to, if you haven't been through it, you don't need it. But I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to answer the question of the people in the Proven Amazon course who say, I've been through proven brand building. Does that give me an advantage? Is this the same thing again? How much overlap is there? Hit on that for a moment.
Let me
You want me to take it?
Let me just take it for one quick second,
Yeah.
and I'll give you some of the differences. We're going to teach a strategy that doesn't require that you have to have a trademark to do this, right? In the past, what my course teaches is it teaches the trademark and brand registry process. You could do a non-registered brand. We're going to go over all of that and how to transition into brand registry, because I feel like it's not a matter of if you're going to need brand registry, but when, right? And it's going to become harder and harder and harder. You want to do it now. But another thing that differentiates on this is we have coupled these strategies that we're teaching for launch. I don't really teach launch strategy. I went through the basics of how to do GS1 barcodes, and we are literally tip to tail building the listing, sourcing the listing, doing the market research on the bundle. This is more specific to the bundle versus and building branded bundles out of replens and whatnot. I touch the surface, the tip of the iceberg on the proven branding course, teach a lot of the technical aspects of just branding in general. But this branded bundle course in general, it is the, like Leanna said earlier, like we show you how to do it in the proven branding course, but this shows you why you do it and every intricate detail and step, as opposed to saying, here's what to do. The proven bundling course is going to go into how and why.
Gotcha. Proven brand bundles takes over where the old brand building class left off.
Yep.
What I'm hearing.
It's
So it's not necessarily you have to have that as a prerequisite either, because we're talking about how to launch, how to create a great listing, how to promote and get traffic. Like none of that's covered in the old branding.
How to source the bundle.
How to source and find a good niche.
Sourcing. The old didn't dive into actually keywords. It didn't dive into target audience and how to write a listing to target that audience. It didn't really go into very simple understanding of trying to get some momentum and launch if you don't have the capability of brand. That was all about brand registry, and it didn't even actually, once you got trademarked and got brand registry, it doesn't jump into how to use brand registry to your advantage. It just was how to do a brand. What
are the features?
Yeah.
Well, it goes through all the features of what is included with brand registry, right? And the problem with going that deep in that course is your eyes would roll back into your head. And the course would be 10 times longer than what it is. And who wants to sit through 25 hours of videos to get the answers? So what's beautiful about this, coupled with this course, Jim, is we have built a very specific coaching program based on branded bundles. We'll also have a mastermind program specifically for this, designed with Leanna. If you want coaching 100% with Leanna, or even with me, I'm doing a bit of coaching as well in this strategy as well. We have a great team of coaches that teaches it. Go to jimdotcom and ask about it. Just say, hey, I'm interested in the branded bundles course, right?
Silentjimdotcom has a link there.
Coaching.
People can't spell my name. Just go to silentjim.com. There's a link to coaching there. But yeah, absolutely. We've got a great team of coaches ready to coach. If you, rather than just do a course, you'd want to have your hand held. But we really want to encourage people to get into this. Proven Amazon course and coaching students get a massive discount. Provenbrandedbundles.com has all the information there on it. Legends members too. Thanks, Leanna. You reminded me before we started today. If you happen to be one of our Legends members, you can get a great discount as well. Using the pack discount. We'll post that in the Legends Facebook group. But we need to wrap this up, guys. Unfortunately, I think we could go a lot deeper, but the whole point of today's episode was just to kind of help people figure out, is this something they're qualified and should be considering or not? If so, get over to the website or jump into our Facebook group ask some questions. But the classes start soon as we're recording this. Maybe they have already started if that's by the time people listen to this episode, if they didn't catch it right when it came out. But what was our start date? Was it September? Is it 19th?
19th.
Yeah, September 19th, 2023. So if you're listening to this after that point in time, you can still go to provenbrandedbundles.com and see maybe we're offering the recordings there or some other offer there on a way you can get this content. But yeah, super excited to be working with you guys on this. Any final thoughts? Anything else that you were hoping to get in today before we wrap this one up, guys?
One last from me, Jim. We have always approached people with the way that we present information with a big reality check, right? This is not a get rich quick business.
Nope.
The only way to get rich quick is to do it slowly. And with this branded bundles course, whether you're new or you're seasoned, it will be for you, but expect for it to be hard and that it's going to be hard work, but worthwhile. It will be worth it. But we don't want to come across as saying, "Oh, this is the easiest thing since sliced bread, and a 5-year-old could do it." And no, it's going to. You're going to have to work at it. It's going to take some time. But the key that you have to keep, in your brain about that is that the time that you invest now, just like me talking about, back in 1997 when I started selling on eBay, if I would have started building my own brand, and even if I did it just this slow and steady wins the race way, I probably wouldn't be on this podcast talking to you today. I would be on a yacht somewhere silly, or, even though my goal in life is not to be on a yacht, I'm just using that as an example.
I don't think you could turn off the part of your brain that loves teaching this stuff, man.
I love it.
No matter how much money you had.
But I want you to realize that this is the long game. If you're playing this not to just have something that's just a side hustle that you can do until you retire from your job or whatever, if you're playing this as the long game, right? This is the strategy to start learning about now.
And I would add to that too, is that there's no guarantee. Even if you buy replens, there's no guarantee you're going to sell your replens.
Right.
So there's no guarantee that you would make $100,000 in a month or in sales, etc. But what I can guarantee that I think you'll learn something that will improve your business overall. I think there'll be at least one or two, if not more, that would move your business forward is our hope. Even if you never make a branded bundle, there's enough information, I think, that I have been reported back to me that it moved businesses forward. And that is our ultimate goal, is to make everybody's success is different and view is different. But our hope is that at least lets you move your business forward with some education that maybe you didn't already know is our plan.
Yeah. Well said.
I can tell you this. I've taught somebody that is pretty well known in this community over the last 4 months how to do everything. And we're talking 40 bundles that were created. All of them are converting like wildfire. And the increase, it's just like pouring gasoline on a fire. If you pour gasoline on a fire, what's going to happen? I pretty much know now. It just takes a certain type of person to get after it and make it happen. If you take massive action, this is definitely for you.
So this student created 40 branded bundles using these strategies, and you just said all of them are doing well, Nathan.
Every single one of them, because we have this niche that we already know, cranks. It's already something that we've been doing on the replens. We just had to convert those listings over to branded bundles and do it right. But I'm not kidding you. He's having to reschedule with me. He's like, man, I'm just so busy on these bundles that we're already doing that I just don't have time to get on and do the next session with you to do more, because what you've taught me has just blown everything up.
Yep.
I'm talking about
finding that niche and finding and opening their eyes to see the opportunities.
Real 10Xs, like you hear about these, 10X your business. This strategy, this is the one. This is the gasoline that you could throw on your fire to diversify your business. And if you're like a lot of people that got stuck in I'm just doing OA, I'm taking that path of least resistance. You know what? If your business has been suffering a little bit over the last little while, because there's a bit of saturation, and as we go into the Q4 and that summer was tough, right? This is the right pivot for you to put a turbo boost injection back into your business to grow it to that next plateau. If you're stuck at a growth plateau and your business just isn't growing, maybe you're stuck at 10 grand a month or 20 grand a month or even 100 grand a month, and you're trying to grow to the next level, this is how you do it.
Fantastic. Man, that's good stuff, guys. I think we've got a lot of people curious and interested, and I think we're going to have a very big class. I think we're going to have a few hundred people jumping into this thing, but we're going to serve them with excellence. We got our whole team here ready to rock with this. And I'm excited to be working with both of you. It's just such a blessing, man, for me just to be able to work with true pros who know their stuff, who truly care. We don't sugarcoat anything. Anything worth having is blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, risk. It may or may not work out, but hey, here's a whole bunch of people that are doing it the right way. Come learn with us. That's the offer. And maybe that's why we've lasted 20 years, buddies. We just don't sugarcoat stuff.
Yeah. It might be a good idea for you to call the coaching office just to see what your options are and what explore the possibilities, because we've talked to so many people that you can't see outside your periphery, but we can. And we may see things that you don't see that will give, even if you call and we figure out where you're at, contrast that to where we want to be, and discover things about your situation and help you realize things that you wouldn't have realized otherwise. That's what we're in it for. We love that, even if you're not ready for coaching yet, but to just find out. It makes sense to find out and explore the possibilities and learn more about branded bundles, some of the programs that we offer, our wholesale mastermind course. There's just so many options, but interact. Give us a call. You're never putting us out. The call's free. It costs you nothing. Find out if having the opportunity to work with Leanna or myself one-on-one is the right move for you. And if it is, we'll guide you down the path. If it's not, we'll say, no, go out and get this set up first, or, go after these prerequisites first and then come back. We are honest, sometimes brutally honest. I think the only people that get mad at us at the coaching office, Jim, is
people we turn down.
The people that we turn away and say, sorry, this is not for you. You're not ready. Try to do this or that or the other. And they're like, no,
you're not qualified.
Like,
you don't have the margin in your life right now, buddy.
We just don't.
Those are difficult conversations, but we don't want to set someone up for failure and be the reason that they didn't end up doing well. Hey, we're not a good fit for everyone. But well, Leanna, any final thoughts? We got to wrap this up. I'm past my deadline at this point. I really need to wrap up today, but I didn't want to cut you off if you had anything else on your mind.
No, I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm just looking forward to seeing how we can see the value of what the opportunities are. And this is what the avenue is. Amazon is brands. So, and I'm privileged to be a part of it. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
It's an honor to work with both of you. And the website, as we wrap this up, provenbrandedbundles.com. There'll be a link in the show notes at silentjimdotcom, along with everything else that we talked about today. A link to the coaching office. You can set up an appointment or just call us anytime. International. I'm proud of the fact, since Nathan brought up coaching, we've coached coming up on 10,000 people over the past 20 years. We need to get an official number at some point, buddy. But man, that's a lot of people. That's coaching students. Never mind the tens of thousands who have benefited from the Proven Amazon course, the other content we've created. So if being in e-commerce for a long time, doing it the right way, is something that matters to you as a listener of this show, yeah, you're going to have a hard time finding people who've been doing it longer than we have the right way. So God bless all the business building warriors out there. Thanks for joining us today. My great guest did such a good job, but I'm going to wrap this one up. We'll have another great episode for you again very soon. We'll talk to you then. Hey, one last thing before I let you go today. A little reminder, today's sponsor was Sellerboard. They are a tremendous partner of this community. They've been supporting hundreds of users who listen to this show, who are thrilled with the service they're providing, from a simple tool that helps you know if you're profitable or not in your Amazon business, which of your ASINs are winning, making you money, which ones are losing, costing you some money that need to be cut out. It would be so helpful to know, wouldn't it? Well, that's what Sellerboard does. It's very simple to set up, low costs to get started. They've got a special offer for our community, and you can check it out at silentjimdotcom/numbers. Go check them out. Thanks, Sellerboard. Hey, we'll have another great episode for you very soon.